Hi there and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about this, which is my very first guitar love. So wind the clock back 16 years to a 15-year-old me, and I just really started getting into the music that I was going to be passionate about to this day. Hard rock, classic rock, metal, AC/DC and Black Sabbath were two bands that I just became obsessed with. I'd also been playing guitar for 4 or 5 years at that point and really started getting into the instrument, the different brands, manufacturers, started buying guitar magazines and just going down those gear rabbit holes. I started developing those kind of early obsessions, early forms of gas, I guess, gear addiction syndrome. And I dreamt of one day owning a USA-made Gibson, but acquiring one on a supermarket salary as a teenager just seemed complete fantasy. But as a kid, you could always dream. And actually, the dream I had wasn't to own a Les Paul or a Flying V or an Explorer, it was an SG. Now, going back to those bands that I started getting into, obviously Angus Young, Tony Iommi play SGs, but it always seemed to me like the SG was the slightly alternative choice to a Les Paul. A lot of people I knew had Epiphone Les Pauls. My brother had one, my bandmate had one. The Les Paul was kind of the thing that most people aspired to have, but this was definitely the alternative choice. It was also slightly edgier, slightly more left field, and therefore, in my opinion, slightly cooler. So I became aware of the time of the Special Faded series. So Gibson released the SG Special Faded, and they also released, I believe at the time, the double cut Les Paul Special Faded and the single cut Les Paul Special Faded. This came out at the time at around 500, 550 pounds, and I scrimped and saved for a few months and ended up getting this. Now, this was called the Faded series when it first came out, but Gibson have continued to produce the more affordable satin finished models in its lineup ever since. I believe now they're called the Tribute series. And some people have called this the hidden gem in Gibson's lineup, not because it's the most affordable or it's the cheapest, but you do get legitimate Gibson USA build quality for what that's worth. You also get the USA pickups, you get the USA hardware. There's nothing really imported on this line that's different to, say, an SG Standard or a Les Paul Standard. This is just a USA Gibson with slightly more affordable features and slightly more affordable build processes. I guess the thing that I really love about this individual guitar and this line of guitars that Gibson produces is that it's simple, stripped back, but incredibly acoustically resonant. Because it doesn't have the nitro finish, it's very loud acoustically, and I genuinely believe that translates into its electrified tone as well. Anyone who's familiar with an SG knows how acoustically resonant they can be, but particularly on this model, it's so loud. Now, I have modified mine slightly over the years, and some of it's aesthetic, but some of it's performance-based as well. So I haven't actually changed the pickups on this, but I have put chrome pickup covers on because I just think it looks better. I've added this Duesenberg Les trem because I like tremolos on my guitar. I added these top hat knobs because I just think they look better than the all black ones that it came with. And because I added the Les trem for more stability in tuning, I also added these vintage style Clues and locking tuners. Again, those familiar with playing SGs will know that it can sometimes feel a little neck heavy, but the neck itself also feels like it goes out quite far because of the way the body sits on you. That's not actually too different to how a Custom 24 feels, and it's why migrating to my PRSs felt quite comfortable to me. But I wouldn't say this guitar has stayed as my number one over the years. It's fundamentally different to everything else I have in my collection, tonally speaking and feel-wise. It's perhaps not as stable or doesn't play as smoothly as my PRSs, but there are tones that I get out of this that I just can't get from anything else. And also because I've had this for so many years, I've lived with it, I've written a lot of music on it, I've gigged with it, I've built up so many memories with this that I can never see myself parting with it. More than anything, it feels like a mate. It's different and it's got a personality, and I guess that's why we fall in love with certain instruments. So let me know what you think. Do you like these stripped back Gibsons? Do you think they're the hidden gem of the Gibson lineup? Is there another guitar that you've fallen in love with that you kind of feel the same about? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and until next time, I'll catch you later.